Hey guys, Elliott Bayev here from Fight2Unite here at Toronto BJJ with Professor Jorge Britto, head of the Jiu-Jitsu For Life team. George, you're doing some amazing things in Jiu-Jitsu.
Thanks, man.
Just wanted to introduce you to the Fight2Unite community, and maybe you could tell us a bit about some of the things you got going on.
Yeah, sure. What's up, everybody? So my name is George. As Professor Elliott say, I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for a long time. So right now, we're trying to contribute as much as possible to our community, and for sure, Fight2Unite is another one coming up. They're gonna help us to get together, as the name already called, Fight2Unite. It's like great opportunity for us to, to share the same space and start like to open our minds and become better, because we can keep like being competitors and rivals, but never enemies. And it takes some time until we all find that evolution point, and all those tournaments, when they come in place with that idea, it's important to us to spread that and to let you know what is the major goal when we go out there, when we get together to compete, is to make ourselves better, right?
So George, tell us about the kind of philosophy here and behind Jiu-Jitsu For Life as a whole.
Yeah, like Jiu-Jitsu For Life team has as a mission statement to spread Jiu-Jitsu, to promote Jiu-Jitsu in a positive way, because Jiu-Jitsu has so much to give it to you guys who or to the society, or for everyone who actually get in contact with Jiu-Jitsu, that sometimes they get hidden by misleading information, that we are only about the fight or learn how to choke and arm bars, but there's so much more beyond that. And then our mission is try like to spread not just the arm bars, the chokes, the sweeps, but how to think Jiu-Jitsu, the mindset that can really transform your life. Because Jiu-Jitsu for me is nothing more than try to control someone else. But it comes like to a natural understanding that if I don't control myself first, it's impossible to control someone else. And as a teacher, I try to guide the students and all the other leaders that we have in our association to see that vision. We make decisions under pressure on the mats. And if we think about it, this is a drill of emotional control. And when it comes down to emotional control, we're talking about the number one resource of life. If you have emotional control, whatever happened in your life is going to be under your control, because you're going to be able to or either hold your excitement and not be arrogant because you're overconfident, or also create that courage that you have to break down some things that are bothering you in your life. So Jiu-Jitsu can provide you that, because when we compete, when we train, those emotions are real, but they don't really affect your life. Let's say you go on the training and you tap 5-6 times, or you get crushed, or you beat everybody on the training. It doesn't change your life a penny. You don't lose your job because of that, unless you really stop to do everything just to train Jiu-Jitsu, which is not what we recommend. It's like find balance. But at the end of the day, you are training your mind to deal with emotions. So open your eyes for that. So competition, number one thing for that. Why? Because as I was talking to the professor in an informal conversation, when we go to an academy, the first 3 months, I would say, are very uncomfortable. The first row, that guy that is harder on you. But as you go and you train, Jiu-Jitsu is so good that gives you that point of comfort. You're very comfortable on the mats, everybody's your friend, and you're supposed to feel like that. But here's the problem. Not everybody's conscious enough to be putting themselves in uncomfortable situations all the time in training. That's when competition comes very handy, because you're gonna have to book a day to be trying to perform your very best. So that means you're gonna have to make better decisions on your diet. You're gonna have to better decisions, and even in what you read, because you have to feed your mind with good information. Anyways, I can be here with you for hours talking about that.
So tell us a little bit more. Jiu-Jitsu For Life is now a global entity. You're doing some very cool things in Brazil. Tell us a bit about what's going on over there.
We've been very fortunate with the opportunity to support some kids in Brazil, some social projects. There's about 17 social projects. They're under the umbrella of Jiu-Jitsu For Life team, plus another academies there with great professors and athletes competing under a flag. So we're in this project of expansion. So we have a representative in Europe. So we have some representatives in the United States and in Canada, obviously. And the idea of Jiu-Jitsu for Life is just organically, be another team. So we are giving our very best. And here's our hometown. I will say that's like Toronto, Ontario, and where like we have some of like our best athletes. And I'm very excited for the future.
So you've been running your own tournaments, Next Gen. You've been a big competitor yourself for most of your jiu-jitsu career. You've got one of the biggest and most successful competition teams in the country. Where do you see competition going in the next 5 to 10 years in Canada?
I see our scene getting much better. Like having the other provinces getting together. I think the CGA, which is the Canadian Jiu-Jitsu Association, where I hold myself as vice president, we are like alongside the Ontario Jiu-Jitsu Association. We're doing a good job, trying to spread the idea that we have to work together, and the opportunity to bring the other federations such as UAE JJF and the IBJJF to our country. It's something that has no price. It's priceless because we learn a lot from them and how to run the events, and every promoter should be always trying to help us out with that, because we all grow with this. And it's an opportunity for our athletes, especially now, to compete at World Championships. You need 80 points. So might as well we have like a local tournaments that will give you that. So for the Abu Dhabi, which gives you the incredible experience to travel to Abu Dhabi and compete the World Pro, you need to make points for that. So we're trying to make that happen more, and especially the JJF Jiu-Jitsu World Championships, which is an amazing tournament. It takes you to travel and to experience and represent your country. I see Canada being like a very important piece of contribution for the growth of Jiu-Jitsu worldwide. And Jiu-Jitsu future, we will hit the Olympics, but it will be a little different than what people imagine, because there's 3 styles of Jiu-Jitsu that a lot of people maybe don't know. The new ASA is what we do, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the fighting system and the dual system. And the biggest challenge is to achieve the standards of the IOC and merging those styles together. That is going to take some time, unless something really unexpected happened and they put BJJ on the Olympics. I see Jiu-Jitsu becoming like a sport that will define exactly who are the Olympic athletes, the professional athletes, and the amateur athletes. So, and I think tournaments are the most important piece of that, because that's going to start to define who is who on this big crowd.
Amazing. And what are some of your kind of highlights as a professor, as an instructor, that you've seen with your students? What are some examples of some of the, we're all about the idea that Jiu-Jitsu does so much good. So do you have any stories or examples?
Jiu-Jitsu, first of all, every day when I look to me and I see myself as a teacher, I already feel like, wow, that's one of the biggest accomplishments. And I will say why. I'm going to tell you why, because I never considered myself the best guy in my academy, because in fact I was never. I never had skills, and honestly, if you look for me from the outside, you will never believe today I would be like doing what I do, which is not a big deal. But for me, on my internal fight, I destroy myself from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago, and all the insecurities and everything else. And along the side of that journey, I was able to be a vehicle of transformation in a lot of people's life. And I can even express how grateful I am for that. And that's my feel when I receive a master for a student, just telling that he achieved a big accomplishment, and Jiu-Jitsu was a big part of that. To see people with quote unquote physical disability on the mats competing. When I see the fundraisers that we do and we receive the letters from the associations thanking us for helping somebody that is in need. When I see the kids in Brazil, when I went there to the favela and see their smile and their hope, and then all those things are the bigger pays off. Of course, I love my accomplishments as an athlete, because I know my limitations and I know how hard I worked for each one of the little medals that I got. which like I never make any big deal, but I was able to experience some like a high level competition, but they are not even close to the achievement of like helping other people through what I love to do every day.
Amazing. And that really is kind of what Fight2Unite's all about. It's celebrating that, you know, look how much good any jiu-jitsu instructor, but especially like, you know, you've got one of the biggest schools in the city, and you know, you just had a promotion at the end of the last year. I think you had how many black belts graduate?
Oh my God, I think it was 25.
Oh my gosh.
I lost count. I need to go into math. You know, my partner Josh Report, it's a huge supporter, somebody that believe in my crazy ideas. When I got here, like people were looking at me like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yes." And you know, and he knows all the math counting. He's good at math.
It's good to have that partner. Right?
You know, yeah. Like let me remember that you never do anything by yourself. You know, we need help. You need your team. And for me, one thing that I learned as a leader is like we need to like not try to fix people and try like to tell them what they do wrong, but try to find their best, you know. And then that's what I try to do with myself. And I tell you, try to find what is best on you and go hard on it. You know, make your best in the best way possible. Whatever you have to fix, you know, life will give you the opportunity to change and to fix it. And that's it, man. I just love you so much. I'm very excited to be here sharing that with you guys. And I wish your tournament to be a success. And count on us.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, bro.
Appreciate it.
It was